A reaction from House Armed Service Committee member, Ohio Republican Congressman Mike Turner. Good to see you, Congressman. So, I think of what is going on inside of the mind of Vladimir Putin. If he ever thought that Trump was going to be easy, he probably has a different thought coming now, don't you think?
Absolutely. When you describe that room with President Trump and Secretary Tillerson and Lavrov and Putin, I think one thing that we can get from that is we have a really strong team sitting across the table, regardless of the efforts to try to delegitimize the Trump administration through allegations of collusion with the Russians in the campaign. We really have a team that can stand in front of them and represent the United States well and challenge Russia on their aggressiveness. Right. Most of the issues that they had to talk about was that bucket of aggressiveness that Russia has now undertaken in Syria, Ukraine, and even as you just described, the accusations or the statements that they're made that are not helpful with respect to North Korea.
And it's also style. I know style is only part of the thing, but people are talking about what the style between Reagan and his Russian counterpart or Soviet counterpart back in the 80s, how important those settings really were for back then. But it's really a matter of substance when you think of what President Trump has done with regard to certain issues involving Russia. We're looking at live pictures, by the way, of Jared Kushner and his wife, Ivanka Trump, going up the stairs there, or Ivanka Kushner, I should say. They are going along with the president and Melania Trump for this meeting. But again, you think of the squeeze that Donald Trump has put on Syria. You think of the squeeze that he's put on Iran, which historically has been somewhat of an ally of Russia. You think of helping out our Eastern European partners with our oil and gas, something that he mentioned in Poland as a kind of full-scale policy. These are all things that hurt Putin, that I don't think Putin really expected to happen.
I agree. And, if you remember the news reports coming out of previous Obama-Putin meetings, they'd come out with, Obama gave him a death stare, but then nothing would happen with U.S. policy. What we have here is, engagement between the two, but actual actions. Trump taking action in Syria, Trump engaging in Ukraine, really taking on the issues where Russia has before seen a vacuum of U.S. leadership. Instead, we're standing strong, right, and we're asserting that U.S. has interest and we're going to stand for them.
Finally, there is the perception of the media and perhaps the establishment, the jabbering classes inside the Beltway, about how Putin is going to eat Trump's lunch at this visit. That literally was the headline in a Business Insider piece that suggested that he was unprepared for the meeting, that he had no specific agenda. A 2.5-hour meeting with Putin, particularly in light of everything that Trump has done against Putin in the past 6 months, indicates otherwise, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and Secretary of State Tillerson is a consummate professional. I'm certain that he came completely prepared and made certain that Donald Trump was completely prepared. But more importantly, I think it's the fact that the U.S. team would have sat across from them with an actual agenda. The only way that Russia wins is when U.S. walks away and leaves a vacuum and gives them the ability to do meddling and to do aggressiveness. As long as the United States is filling that vacuum, strengthening our allies, indicating that we're going to stand strong, which is what Donald Trump is doing, and rebuilding our military and working with our allies, Russia certainly becomes diminished.
And you're right about Tillerson. He doesn't take gruff from anybody. And none of this happy talk when he meets with his counterpart in Russia. Just very straight on, serious stuff. Ohio Republican Congressman Mike Turner, great to see you, Congressman. Thanks for coming in.